Check, check. Check, check, check. All right, I think that sounds okay. We'll get rolling here in a second. Hope everybody can hear okay. All right. Gotta tell the world here that we're alive. Oh, got the face cam today. It is gonna look extremely blown out, but hey, nothing we're gonna do about that. Let me just share some links and then we will be off to the races. So how's everybody doing tonight? All right, here we go. I think we got it. All right. So I got some comics to show off today. Not mine, but some other people's comics. And then maybe I'll chip away at this Hulk I'm doing for fun here. So I think I'll start off with Hulk, actually. Let's show you Hulk first. So I did a bunch of podcasts recently promoting the Schlub coming out, and one of the questions you get all the time is, you know, what was your first comic, or like what got you started on comics? And I always talk about X-Men #5 and X-Force #9 because those are the first two I bought in the comic book store, like with my own money. Like those are the two that I wanted. But before that, I got an Incredible Hulk issue and an issue of G.I. Joe. But they weren't particularly important to me. The G.I. Joe one, I don't know where it is. I think I might have traded it. But I still have the Hulk. And I realized this, I was looking through some comics the other day to pull something out. And, hey, what's up there, Ickvis Total Excellence? So yeah, I do have this issue of the Hulk. So this was actually the first comic I got, this one and the G.I. Joe issue. And this is the actual one that I got, too. I have kept it. And I would say the majority of the damage and crinkling happened when I was a kid. And it wasn't me. My dad just read comics in a much more, like, he'd roll them up. And, he had a different way of dealing with them. He wasn't thinking of them as collectibles as much. So, I got some staple rippage here. But that's a cool cover, huh? 389, Incredible Hulk. And this is right around the time that Keown was going to start working on it as well. I think there's actually an ad somewhere in here for something like that. But this one is drawn by Gary Barker, who's not an artist I'm super familiar with. But even as a kid, I remember looking at this, thinking, wow, this is really cool. And like the drawings are really good. And this was the time frame when he was hanging out with, what's his name, Rick, all the time. And he was also the Smart Hulk. And I thought this was kind of a cool era, actually. Like, looking back on it, I was always a big Doc Savage guy. And so this is basically the Hulk as Doc Savage, which was kind of a cool idea. But it's got some pretty killer art in it. The inks are by Mark Farmer, who I'm actually pretty aware of Mark Farmer's stuff. He's a great inker. And there's some really nice stuff in here, some really good storytelling. I remember being struck by the cartooning of the faces here. I really like that. But there's some cool stuff in here. I was always also really scared by... So in this one you've got Man-Thing, of course, but then you have this other dude who like melts people with his skin. So there's lots of cool kind of Swamp Thingy type stuff going on in this issue. And so it was a pretty neat one to start with. Yeah, this is, like I said, this is the Hulk Ichthus that is like a... he's a smart Hulk. So he's like Banner, but he's in the Hulk's body. And so he kind of takes care of himself. He wears clothes that fit, you know, blah, 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 blah. You know, I don't think a lot of people like this version, but I thought it was kind of cool. But yeah, this dude here, he sort of like melts people with his goopy touch. And he's going after these dudes wearing Captain America gear here. Interesting too, you can see some old printing stuff here. They trapped their blacks on his hand, and I think it's just because there was a black painted in the tree here as well. But they didn't trap him in the middle part here, and so this black is not very rich. Some weird printing stuff. Hey, look at these awesome NBA Fleer cards. I had some of these. I definitely had the Pippen card for show. Scotty's my boy. Dominique Wilkins too. Those were the days. But anyway, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool comic. Like I said, it didn't have as big of an effect on me as I think X-Men and X-Force did, because that's pretty gross right here. He's like pushing his face against it. I think part of it's because I didn't pick it out, you know, but then the other part of it is just, you know, this is great art, but it's not like looking at Jim Lee and Rob Liefeld at the time. They had an energy to it. But yeah, it says here next issue, and I remember this awesome Kiowan cover of like Hulk with his giant gun and like bullets all over. That ad I saw a bunch of times, but I guess they did a little, that War and Pieces thing on there. Kiowan's stuff on Hulk was really good too. I don't have a lot of it, but... So that was actually my first comic right there. Hulk number 389. I need to start remembering that when people ask. I don't remember the G.I. Joe. If I saw it, I would remember it. It has Lady J, I think, on the cover. She's kind of going like falling or something like that. Okay, so check this out. I probably got to be careful what I show on this one. Warning, there's some graphic stuff in this book. But this book is nuts. It's hard to... I don't know. I recommend it if you are a comic book artist, because there's some interesting looking work in here. But it is pretty... wild book, right? So I would be careful, you know, if you're easily offended, it's probably not a book for you. They're kind of hard to come by too, but the art is crazy. It's kind of almost like I feel like I saw a video saying he was using some kind of paint, you know, watercolor paint or airbrush techniques, but then he still has these hard ink lines around his outlines of his characters, but then you see all the musculature and everything on the interior of the figure is done with shading with the paint, kind of a more painterly technique. And so it makes for this really wild look where it's almost like it's the one guy I think that did all the art, and Libertore, and it's almost, but it looks like someone did some like very simple kind of Darrow style clean line drawings. Hey Eli, happy Tuesday to you too. And then he filled them in with paint. So anyway, it's about this cyborg. There's a lot of drug use. There's a lot of violence in it, but it's full of some pretty amazing imagery. It almost looks like photo collage too, even though this is all definitely not photos. Let me just preview pages before I show them. Yeah. And there's some really cool color stuff that he does. It's rare you're going to see a pink and a blue like this, which are basically pure magenta and cyan, right up with a Y, you know, a yellow. Like it's just raw process colors in a lot of parts. It's pretty neat. And it's got some cool like action stuff. The way he like runs and stuff is pretty wild, and the top of his head is always coming off. And like I said, there's a whole lot of violence in it. There is some nudity here. But yeah, it's a wild book. I would say if you're kind of looking for something that's really off the beaten path, from what maybe you're used to, if you're used to American comics, this is a great example of just something totally different. And if you're into European comics, you might be more into this. It's kind of a Das Pastoris look to it. But just some pretty neat stuff. I think these, I feel like they're hard to come by. I got this ages ago at just a, and no, it wasn't a Barnes. It was probably at Powell's or something. Oh, thank you, BTG, for checking out the schlub and the kind words. I'm really happy to hear that. We're very stoked about the book being out. The second issue is almost here, guys. I am so pumped for people to read it. It's there's some stuff in there I'm really proud of that was really fun to draw. So I also wanted to show you guys some work that I'm sure nobody has seen because it's so rare, and that is work by my friend Rinko Endo. Rinko Endo is a friend of mine from college. We both went to the School of the Art Institute of Chicago. And it's funny, I actually met her because she was friends with this girl I was dating. And then I stopped dating the girl, but I was still friends with Rinko. I'm actually still friends with that person too, but me and Rinko got tight in college. And she makes incredible work, and it's going to be really sad to try to show it on here because the amount of detail in her work is unparalleled. So her work is educational. Usually she'll do stuff, some of it is about her own personal experiences, and a lot of it is about her own personal experiences, but not just things that happened to her, but situations she worked in as someone who's worked with people in mental health facilities. And so she's been sort of a real art therapy is what she does and what she studied. And this goes through how to manage aggression when dealing with different patients in different situations. But she did it as a manga and was able to present it as training for her colleagues. And it is incredible. She does a lot of this kind of chibi type art, but then the amount of detail that she puts into her, all the characters and all the backgrounds, and then all of this is hand lettered, which is insane, but it allows her to have these amazing, she can go from kanji to English to, large letters, small letters, different typefaces within the panels, and so they become storytelling elements and graphic elements, not just, not just the letters. And I really love her cartooning when she draws. This is her version of her. This is Rinko, and I love her cartooning so much. So obviously there's a lot to read in here, but it goes through bad situations, like what if you're being chased and what to do if people are angry and how to de-escalate patients. And man, it is amazing. It's very, very amazing. So this one was one of the first ones, I think. I mean, I'd seen her drawings for a long time, but I didn't know she did these manga until after we were out of school. And a lot of these are all self-published, and you've never seen anything like it, let me tell you. It is unique because it feels very Japanese, but then in a lot of the execution, she has almost an American indie comics sensibility to the way she layers her backgrounds and chooses moments to have no background at all. She does all this stuff with Micron, and she does all the hatching and stuff, slowly building it up with different death phases of of their microns as they're dying. There's Rinko again and her husband Chris, and I miss them dearly. They live in Japan again, but she's my hookup. She sends me Atomo stuff when it comes out, things you can't get here, and she's incredible. But let me show you one more by her, and then I should pull down. Maybe I will pull down. A long time ago, me and my buddy Scott Kroll did a series of anthologies that were science fiction romance comics, and it featured a lot of really great people in them, and one of them was Rinko. And I had asked her to do a story for us, and she accepted, but she said she's really slow, and I said, well, you've got a year or something, And it took her a while, but when she did the story, which I'll show later, she brought it. Maybe I'll save the story for when I'm showing it to you. But anyway, this comic here, I'm jumping all over, sorry, is about her personal experience growing up and having to wear this crazy chin cap and cage, like a cage on her head, to fix her jaw. And so she walked around with this crazy thing strapped to her as she was like a small child, you know. And so it's all about the way she was treated by her family and by the people at school and how it made her feel. It's really personal, but also really educational about, you know, kids dealing with those kind of issues, you know, medical issues or body image issues. It's really amazing. So this one's from 2012. And let me just go grab, you guys have to see this other book because I think some of you might find it interesting. Get it over here. So this is the book I was talking about, the anthology I did. So it was called Speculative Relationships. We did 3 volumes, and each volume featured different artists telling science fiction and romance stories. And I'm really proud of what we did on this book. It's beautiful. It's amazing. Eli, yes, old school scoliosis braces. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, this cover is by my friend Mike Manimivable. He's an incredible illustrator. And the book features work by me and Mike Manimivable, Scott Kroll, the other editor, Rinko, Endo, Daniel Warren Johnson. This is actually the first Daniel Warren Johnson story ever in print. I guarantee you that. Because I was the one who did it with him. And then Isabel Rotman, the amazing Isabel Rotman, is in here as well. So it's I'm really proud of the work we did in this book. But the reason I pulled it out was not to show you my terrible old art, but to show you Rinko's art. So when we were getting the book ready to go, she was the last one to turn her pages in, and she, thanks, like this on the logo, I designed that. She actually was coming to America to visit, and she brought the pages with her, and she was finishing them up. And it was me and Scott and Dan and Isabel Rotman, Dana Warren Johnson, Scott Kroll, and me, and Rinko. And she brought some of the pages from this story over, and she draws them not too much bigger than this is printed. So this is 6x9. She draws them almost manga size, so sort of like an 8x10-ish kind of size. And the amount of detail and the hatching in this story, when she pulled out one of these pages, and which one was it? It might have been this first one here, and showed it to those the 4 other artists of us. Our mouths just dropped open. We were just like everybody's mind was blown by just how clean and beautiful and well rendered everything was, and then how solid the cartooning was. And but to see them in person, this tiny little hatching, everybody was like, "Oh my God, Rinko, you're a genius." So that was her story. Her one's about a person that is an alien that can't be with the human that she likes. Here's Dan's. It's called The Purest Form. I actually forgot to print a page. I'm terrible. So this is Dan's first thing published. And then Izzy did the Dream Program. This one's great. It's about an AI falling in love with someone in stasis. This one Scott did is about an alien species that has 5 genders instead of just 2. And so to successfully have a relationship, you need 5 different people or beings. And then Scott did another one about mech pilots. I did this one. It's like a romance sci-fi thing. They're trying to restart the heart of the planet or something. And then Mike did this really cool robot story. So there's actually no more of these in print. I've got like 2 that are mine. But you can get this and the 2nd and 3rd volumes, which also feature work by Dana Warren Johnson and Grim Wilkins and Amara Leipzig and Ink Maggot, and I mean there's so many good people in there. Those ones are available in print, and the first one is available as a PDF. I would recommend you guys check it out if you're into any of that. You can see more work by Rinko and me and some other artists you might not have known about. So, Speculative Relationships, Volume 1. So anyway, so happy to show off some friends' work. Rinko is an absolute treasure, but her work is almost impossible to really find here. So anyway, I tried to get the camera in a little better spot. We'll see how it goes. So I'm going to try to do this Hulk. It's pretty rough, so we'll see what happens. Kind of like with Spider-Man last time. It's like, I don't know. We'll see what happens. It'll be good or bad. But you will find out live on the air. So I pulled that Hulk out and I was like, why don't I draw the Hulk? I was also asking my daughter, I was like, what should I draw? And she was like, draw the Hulk. I was like, oh, good idea. So we're going to see what we can do. This was a little frustrating. I was drawing, I did a prelim, and I was like, oh yeah, that'll work. That looks cool. And then I tried to do that. I transferred it to this size, and I just couldn't get it right. This might work somehow, but it wasn't coming. And so I just started something totally different and rough, and we'll just see how it goes. I'm going to be doing a lot of the drawing with the ink, I think, on this one. So we got to channel Bob Ross here, and we got to hope for the happy accents, because there's nothing that we could do wrong, because we're just having fun. Thought it'd be cool if he had a lot of like ripped up clothes still, not just the pants, but maybe some few other things. Do I sound a little echoey? That's kind of weird. Maybe I have too many mics going or something. I hope it's not too bad, guys. We'll see. Eli, how detailed do I like to get on the sketch phase before inking? You know, it varies. Like, this is pretty loose for me. But I am pretty loose, actually, because since I'm inking my own stuff, and I do like to figure out a lot of the drawing in the inks, there's times that I go this loose. If it's a character I know, or like say it's a scene in a comic that isn't too, like if the character's not doing anything too complex, I will keep it I will keep it pretty loose like this. But a lot of times if it's the first time I'm drawing a character, or it's a big moment that has a difficult angle or something, I will draw, like, I wouldn't call them detailed pencils, but much more worked up pencils. A lot of times, I like, if I'm penciling, I almost never, and this is why I would have a hard time to work with an inker again. It's very rare that I will have pencils that look like, you know, clean like this before I ink. It almost never will look this clean, right? And this is what you kind of have to do if you're going to give something to an inker. You at least have to kind of imply the lines and the shapes. My stuff will be a lot more like this. So, I mean, every now and again I'll cut a little harder, but, like, you know, it'll kind of be just roughed in there like that. But, like, I'm trying to understand where the roundnesses will be, and sort of where maybe some of the shadows will be, so that when I do come in with the ink, I have some idea of, like, okay, that's all shadow, you know, right there. So it's kind of different. That's kind of how it would look. There's kind of an echo. I don't know why that is, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know if that's any better. Check, check. All right, well, if nobody's complaining, I'll keep going, because I got a lot to do. All right. Cool. I hope that's better. So, back to the Hulk here. So anyway, we're drawing the Hulk. Here he is. And the Hulk is big and bold. So I think we can probably do some really big meaty lines here. That'll suit him well, give him some weight. So I think I want this arm. See, like right here, I mean, there's barely anything here for me to pencil on. I'm just trying to figure it out with the ink right now and get it as close as I can. And then you sort of, I have this sort of subtractive process where after that I will kind of get rid of the pencils and then try to work back in the details after that. It's almost like I'm finding it a little bit more at every step. I don't know how else to describe it, but we're going to keep this one pretty loose, and I think we're going to try to keep it pretty simple. I did get some drawing done today, but I would like to get a couple more things done on the schlub tonight, but I can't show them on here, unfortunately, because it's issue 6, man. You don't want to know the ending yet. I mean, I'm sure you do, and it is awesome. Not to toot my horn, but this last issue is looking, it's fun. It's really fun. I'll say that. It's really fun to draw, so I'm hoping it'll be really fun to read. Okay. Oh yeah. See, I like that. That kind of thing only happens on paper, man. How do you balance your work as a full-time artist and give yourself proper time to take breaks and content balance of life? That's a great question. I don't know if I do, honestly. I'm working on it. You do have to have some things that are sacred that you do no matter what. And I've got a couple of those things. At least once a week I go on a walk by myself. No dog, no child, no wife, just me. And every Sunday I watch really bad movies with some close friends, talk some nonsense, and that is a thing I never miss. And then I try to stay inspired. So that way, if I do some of those things, it makes work easier, and then I'm happier when work is easier. But then also I can focus more on my family and doing things that I enjoy. So I'm trying to get back out there and do more fun things that I enjoy. You know, I just went to a movie the other day. I saw a re-release of John Carpenter's They Live with some buddies, and that was really fun. I love that movie, so it was a pretty good time. Went with my buddy Jim Terry, who's also an incredible comic book artist. I want to give him some big eyebrows. I kind of only hang out with comic book artists, it seems like. No offense to regular people, but no, I have friends that aren't comic book artists. But yeah. Thanks for noticing the line weight stuff like this. Yeah, man, that movie is a classic. They had like a little introduction by John Carpenter, and he said, you know, hey, this movie's just as relevant now, or more so than it even was then. And I hate to be all like that, but it absolutely is, man. It might, every time I watch that movie, no matter what year it is, I'm like, this is right now, man. But John, I love that guy. One of my favorite artists, for sure. You know, definitely one of my favorite filmmakers, but also maybe just overall, like one of my favorite creative people that we get to share time with here on Earth during our lives. Like, how cool that we get to cross over with John, you know? Like, that's how I feel about artists that I love. I have friends that are colorists. Of course, of course. No, I'm not. I don't. I don't discriminate. I do hang out with probably a disproportionate number of art people in general because I have friends that are musicians and like instructors and art teachers and chefs. You know, I don't know. That's just who I tend to gravitate towards, I guess. Um, but I got normal friends too. Well, I don't know if any of them are normal, but I like that hand. I wasn't even thinking about it. That just kind of came out. See, there's just something about working on paper, guys. I can't, I don't know, man. And I mean, digital can be cool and it's really useful for what I use it for with thumbnails and stuff, but I have a hard time finding things like this digitally. Like just finding them in the inks, I guess. There's no commitment, so you just it's easier for someone like me to question myself. So it's kind of feeling kind of round, but I don't know. All right, let's get some big legs back in here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, let's put some like ripped up stuff hanging from everywhere. Some Sam Keith action going on here. All right. Hello there, Adam. All right. Definitely going with my more sort of cartoony look on this one. It's fun though. I don't know, maybe I should just always draw more cartoony. I always feel like people think the safer route is something with a little more of a realism slant on it, but I don't know, man. I'm starting to question that. So that's close to erasing time, I think, because I'll figure out this stuff down here after that, I think. All right. Oh, you know what? Let's go ahead and knock in. How do we want to do this? That kind of works, huh? Stylistically. There we go. Cool. All right. Stylized drawing is a lot trickier. Yeah, I tend to agree. if you can stylize something and successfully do that, it kind of shows that you have some mastery over some of the basics of, the way bodies work and stuff. And you can tell because if you see people that are only drawing cartoony, that have only ever drawn that way, then and cartoony, I'm using it in a very broad way here, but I feel like a lot of times I see work by people like young kids, teenagers and stuff that are trying to learn how to draw and they haven't done any life drawing or anything yet, and you can't just be, and have it work. You kind of have to have some understanding. But I mean, my stuff was a mess when I was a teenager. So maybe I'll do. Yeah, big old meaty hands. We like that. We like that here. All right, eraser. Hulk versus Wolverine animated movie. I don't know if I did. Is that the one that's based on the what is it? The Damon Lindelof or whoever wrote the comic, and Lionel Francis, you drew it. Is it kind of based on that, or is it a different one? That comic that took forever to come out. It was pretty badass though. Rips Wolverine in half and throws him across a mountain range. That was pretty cool. Hulk time, yeah, man. All right. So now we got to decide if we want any more blacks on here. Do we want to use, what kind of shading do I want to go with here? Keep it pretty Spartan, I think. I'm liking these shapes. Maybe I'll do some more of that. Push these things back a little bit. I'll have to check that out. Wolverine versus Hulk. They've definitely fought each other quite a few times, huh? It's kind of an odd matchup, honestly. But, I like them both. They're two characters I'll get down with these guys. I like Wolverine, I like Hulk. That's the equal fandom for me, probably. I mean, I'm probably a little more aware of Wolverine stuff, but Hulk's cool, man. Yeah, that might be a little too tight. Let's just... All right. Yeah, it needs to be. Yeah, there we go. Sometimes you get a little too tight, or I get a little too tight, and I start to kill it. So I'm trying to let it let it live here. It's like you want to. I always want to find that balance between something that's sort of clean looking, but also feels sort of loose. I don't know. It's a hard thing. I don't know how successful it is all the time, but it's like you want it to have the cleanliness. I think is just like maybe an OCD thing, but then the energy is like the thing I want people to really attach to with it. And then if it's a little cleaner and you have some details in there, then there's something for them to do once they get sucked in, you know? That's the goal. Just like pull them in with some big energy. And just like there's all these fun things inside. Okay, that helps. Mm-hmm. All right. Yes, you're absolutely right, Jeremy. Hulk needs to look too big for everywhere he is. That was maybe what wasn't working on that other sketch that I did was that, I was trying to make him big against something else, but the scale wasn't quite working for me. Not loving my brush right now. Some things feels too wet. I love these brushes, but they have different phases of life during each cartridge. And sometimes it's perfect, and other times it's just fine. Will that work? Yeah, that might work. That might work. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna roll with that. Now, will this work is the question. Hey, what do you know? That works too. There we go. That slows down that bottom half a little bit. I like that. See, sometimes different things work better with the brush. Whoa, why am I holding this? All right. Steve Bloom and Scott McNeil. Yeah, he said some good voices for sure. Jeremy, this is just for fun and for the purpose of hanging out. I've been working on the schlub all day. Well, not all day. I watched my daughter a good chunk of the day. But, I like to take some time to try to draw something for fun. Something that doesn't have any and no one's expecting anything from it. Like I don't have someone waiting for it that paid for it or something like that. I will occasionally put commissions on here, but anyway, it's for fun. And then I do put these up for sale if people want to have them. If they don't, I like them, so I'll keep them. But if people want to have them, I've sold quite a few of them. So usually a couple days after the stream, I will throw them up on my web store. But I do offer a 6x9 commission slot now. I just kind of added it because I've been having so much fun with these. So, you know, if you like this format, you know, that's the commission size to go with, 6x9. So it's just half of a 9x12 that I chopped down. And I used to only do them at shows, but now I'm like, I'll do them anytime. It's a good size. I mean, of course, 11x17 gives you a lot more room to really go for it, but 6x9s they have an appeal. I don't like that, but I'm going to leave it for now. Nice. Good pull quote there, like this. Ajax. Haven't drawn Ajax. Well, that's not true. I drew Ajax this last weekend, or 2 weeks ago when I was doing my signing. There was a guy who came by with some Beef Bros stuff, and I had some for sale too. And I did a little remark for him. I drew Ajax and Huey both on there for him. I miss those guys. They're fun to draw. There we go. See, sometimes you just got to put the nail in there. All right, let's figure out these legs. This is just 6x9 Bristol board, so I buy the 9x12, Bristol sheets, that you can get, the yellow one, and then I cut them in half, and here you got a 6x9. And the 300, the yellow, is the when I do my comic pages, I buy a couple steps up from that. But the Bristol at 9x12 is usually pretty good in the 300 series. So I still use 300 for these. My pages I do on 500, so a little more expensive and all that. Sometimes you might get a batch that's a little waxy, like this specific one that I'm on right now. But in general, it's good paper. Well, that's kind of fun. What's that? Some veins on here. The front that's been moving through has really got my allergies going, man. Been itchy-eyed the last couple of days. So you need a little bit of. You sometimes just want some. A little bit of delicacy in there too. All right. What do I want to do with these abs here? Yeah, just thicken that up. Give him a little belly button. All right. Okay, I forgot about the legs, guys. You didn't remind me. I'm supposed to be doing the legs. I like all the ripped up clothes. I like the idea that he just always, he gets dressed every day, really hopeful that he's not going to Hulk out. He's like, he doesn't prepare for it. He's like, no, not today. Today I'm not going to Hulk out. And then he always does. I'll just add a lot more black down to these pants here. What if I did that? Hey Max, how's it going? Good to see you. Glad you made it. We're drawing the Hulk. It's a team effort. I'm liking where we're going here, though. I don't think we need to be too descriptive down there. That's not important. Okay. All right. I'm seeing it. This is usually the time that I say, am I going to put tones on this one or am I not going to put tones on this one? That's right. Just like when you watch the 49ers. Are they winning these days? I don't know. I haven't kept up with them, so I don't know. Dark shadows. There is some trial and error to doing the shading stuff, but the more you do it, the more you get a sense of it. Because part of it is reality, right? Part of it is like, would there be a shadow here in real life? But then a lot of it is like, what's going to help sell this figure in this space, in this situation, and that changes every panel. So, but you start to get a sense of like where you can, where something a little bit darker is gonna help show maybe something that's lacking in the drawing, whether that's shape or form or maybe even emotion. And like for this guy, you want him to feel big, you want him to feel muscular, and so you try to use it to really put the weight on the bottom side. So that's a good first way to start your shading pass, is like, can we add some weight by giving a drop shadow, or or any kind of shading really, you know, or add a light at the bottom, you know, stuff like that is a good place to start, and then you go from there and you start to find other ends to it. But you want your stuff to just, I mean, I want my stuff to feel like it has. One of the things I've been working on is making sure that it feels like it has a balance of light and dark. I think in the past I focused a lot more on line weights than on light and dark. Now those are both equally important to me now, and I think that it's something I'm trying to get a little better about is how to use light and dark um, in the micro and in the macro. You know, like in the big piece, but also in the little pieces. So yeah, we're all trying to learn, trying to get a little better. You gotta just try things and study, look at what other people do, look at real life objects, look at the way light works. All right. Everybody wants tones. All right, all right. Well, we'll see. I'm trying to debate where I would use them. It'll either be on the logo or on the Hulk, so we'll make that decision shortly. But first, let's get some pen action in here. Let's do a little... Oh, get my head out of the shot. Sorry, guys. Let's add a little bit of sauce on here. You know what I'm saying? I also love cooking shows, and I used to watch Emeril Lagasse all the time. Sometimes I'll start talking about using phrases he would say. So sometimes I finish a part and I'm like, bam! All right, yeah. Giving it a little bit of that. A little bit of that. Yep, yep, yep. Let's get that. And what if I did this? Would this help or hurt? Let's see. That's kind of interesting. I don't know. Yeah, I could do without it, whatever. All right, let's give these veins a little flourish here. All right, and I think I'm gonna have to use a little whiteout on here because I want these to sing a little more at the bottom here. All right. All right, well, if I'm gonna do tones, well, you know what? I'm not happy with this mouth yet. Oh, thanks, guys. I'm glad you were all on top of all on top of that. Uh, Bridgman's study. Oh, cool. Life drawing class. Rock and roll, man. Yes, the Hulk is definitely juicing. He's juicing gamma rays, right? Everyone's on steroids. Every professional athlete is on steroids. Every bodybuilder is on steroids. Um, I mean, just look back 50 years at any other sport and any other bodybuilding thing, and you see what they look like, and you tell me that they're not all on steroids now. Love it though. It's cool stuff, man. There was this artist. What was his name? There was this dude, and I remember he's probably still around. He was around in the 90s though, and he did these painted covers, and they were all very obviously just bodybuilder magazine photos that he just painted over. But people loved his stuff. I mean, it was pretty cool, but it was just so obvious that he was just painting over bodybuilder shots, because they had all the veins and the muscles were all exactly in spots, and all the poses were like bodybuilding poses. So, but hey, man, if it works, it works. Whatever. I mean, that's not my thing, but what was that guy's name? And it was like they look like color pencil drawings. They're pretty crazy though. I remember as a kid I liked them. Yeah, Hulk's looking pretty cool. I think I might put it up on the logo because I'm pretty happy with how things are going with Hulk right now, and I don't think I need it there. Whereas the logo, I have no idea how I'm going to render that. So maybe we do a quick easy and we do the logo, and I'll do something cool with it. Trust me. The tones do help it pop, and people dig it, and they are fun. I just gotta go grab them, and then we'll hit the whites. Checking with chat here though. Cooking tonight, teriyaki pineapple hanger steak. That sounds delicious. Well, with a hanger steak, I mean, you can't go wrong with the mashed potato or a twice baked potato. That might take some time though. If you want to keep it low rent, I mean, potato salad, macaroni salad, mac and cheese, those all go good with red meat. Or you could just go with like a pasta with a little bit of pesto on it. That'd be nice. Let me go get that. What am I getting? Tones. Yes, tones. Uh-oh. Don't bump the camera. How big is it? It's probably just big enough to not work with the ones I have. I don't want that one anyway. I want it to go the other direction. There we go. Oh, shocking. It's the 422. It's one of the only two I use, yet I still buy all the other ones. All right. That's right. I do like to cook, guys. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to claim to be a great cook, but there's a few recipes I got that are pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. Before I had a child, I really liked to cook, and I liked to try new things and stuff. But after having my daughter, it's been very difficult to find the time to just learn a new recipe or cook anything that she'll even want to eat. So my cooking game is a little chill right now. So take advantage of it while you can. If you ain't got kids, or if your kids are old enough that it's not a problem. All right. There we go. Come on now. There we go. And when I make mashed potatoes, I just throw a couple cloves of garlic in there, you know, 2 or 3, and boil that with the potatoes. And then when you mash them up, you know, butter or cream or whatever you want to use, but then they just mash up into it. That's key, man. A couple of cloves of garlic in there. I like to put some paprika in there as well. I'm not sure if that's your thing. Not everybody's into paprika. I am. And then salt and pepper, of course. Can't live without salt and pepper. And if you really want to get funky, grab the hand mixer and whip those bad boys. Whip them up. Okay, let's get this out of the way. Guys, we are closing in on it. 8 and 5, huh? Well, there you go. They're probably easier to deal with in that kind of regard. My daughter is 3, almost 4, and she is in the phase of, she doesn't want to eat anything but chips and crackers and fruit. And even fruit has been hard lately. She used to love fruit, and now she's like, I guess I'll have a pear. And I'm like, dude, you love pears. But she only wants snacks. And we'll say, it's dinner time. She's like, I don't want food. I want snacks. I mean, I love snacks, so that's probably why she wants snacks too, is because I have snacks all the time. I'll probably have a snack after this. There you go, guys. See, you guys are on the same wavelength. You guys know what's up with mashed potatoes. You guys know what's up. Yeah, I grew up cooking a lot. My mom cooks a lot, and she's a really good cook. And my brother and I would help her out in the kitchen a lot, so I think we picked up some of that, but then he and I both just became food people. My brother's a really good cook, actually. And I used to be a good cook. Now I am a perfectly adequate cook. I wouldn't call myself a chef, though. Oh yeah, this is gonna sell it right here, guys. We made the right choice. We made the right choice, team. And I cut all those little areas out for no reason. Stupid idiot. All right. Yeah, nuggets and snacks, nuggets and snacks. Gordon Ramsay, huh? I still like to have breakfast. When I first quit my job, the thing I was most excited about was waking up when I wanted and cooking breakfast and having like a real breakfast. Not one I grabbed on the way to work, not a bowl of oatmeal or something, but like a real breakfast. And then we had a kid, and I was like, what can I get done in 5 minutes? And then maybe once a week I'll make some French toast or something, or I probably shouldn't have been eating eggs and bacon or whatever every day anyway, for my health. But I'm always sharing recipes with people. Maybe I'll do some recipes. Maybe I'll cook one day on the live stream. Tyrell's cooking hour. Tuesdays with Tyrell in the kitchen. Come on. Here we go. All right. Now this is working so well, I don't think it's going to need much. But you don't want to leave anything right out of the box. You know what I'm saying? My older brother's a car guy, and he always has special respect for people whose cars, it doesn't have to be the factory, it doesn't have to be some fancy shop did it for you, but like it's the things every person does individually to their car that make it their car, make it cool. And I always like that philosophy of like, you know, it's not like there's the best car out there, right? Or the best drawing or whatever. But one thing is you don't want to just have something be out of the box, right? That's boring. You don't want to just like, oh, here's what I bought. Isn't it great? So same thing with these tones here. We're not just going to throw some tones down and do nothing. So what we're going to do, we're going to just see if we can do something cool to give it some little, see what we got here. Yeah, see? A little bit of something. Just have fun with it. It's kind of cool. Maybe yeah. See? Easy as that. Kitchen ink. That's good. I like that. Go-to breakfast for me is probably some kind of sausage, you know, maybe some hash browns or diced potatoes with some vegetables in there. You know, any vegetable will do, but you know, maybe onions, maybe some kale, tomatoes. Kind of grill that up, maybe do an egg on top of that. I used to do a lot of over easy. Now I'm kind of more of a scrambled guy for some reason. And cheese on there, hot sauce, good to go. Coffee, of course. That's a pretty typical Tyrell breakfast. All right. Yeah, sandwiches are good. I like to do burritos too. Roll them up, make a burrito, do a little breakfast burrito. Eggs and bacon, always good. Pancakes, always good. I'm more of a French toast guy. What I really love is Belgian waffles, but I don't have a waffle maker. So, you know. All right, we're going to do some white. And as you all know, white is always the last step because then I got to clean my brush. But while I'm doing the white, I just wanted to, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that I believe it is in 2 weeks that the Schlub number 2 will be out. And if you haven't already told your retailer you want it, you've missed final order cutoff. But I'm sure they'll set a copy aside for you, and I'm sure they can put it on your poll so that next time for issue 3, it's waiting at the store for you. So get in and check it out. We are really proud of what we did on the book. We're getting really good reviews. And there's a lot of exciting things happening with the Schlub that I cannot talk about, but you don't want to miss it. And you want to tell your friends not to miss it because this is a really cool thing that we're doing. So check it out. Issue 2 has some great stuff, new characters, and you get to see some more of Max Terra. I know a lot of people are interested in seeing more Max Terra, so you see more Max Terra. You get to see a little more about Roger's life and what he's going to do inside Sirius's body. And you get to see more of Worm and some other stuff that you don't know about yet. And I think you're going to dig it. So, Schlub number 2, and it is the cover I'm the most proud of from the whole series. So, buy 2 of the cover. Get the Virgin variant of the cover if you can, because boy oh boy, I really enjoyed making that one, and I think it kind of means a lot to me actually. That cover means a lot to me. I feel like I had a breakthrough. So check it out, please. I'm glad we're making you hungry there, Max. Yes, thank you, Eli, for putting it on your subscription list. Really appreciate that. We need those subscriptions for the book to live, and get to all the good stuff, because we definitely don't. We want the book to go. So. I'm liking this, guys. I'm liking this one. This one's fun. Should I just keep it for myself? I don't know. Maybe I'll put it up. I'm sure there's somebody that's a bigger Hulk fan than me. I do like him a lot, but... Alright, something here. It's just not... I need to do something right here. I don't know what it is yet. Here we go. There's 1, there's 2, and I believe that is 3. Do one more over here. There we go. There he is. There he is. Okay. All right. Thank you, Max. Yeah, I don't know. That cover is pretty awesome, but paying my rent is also awesome. So we'll see. I've already had 3 inquiries about it, so I might have to let it go. I had people trying to buy it before the issue was out, and I was like, nah, I really want to hang on to stuff until the issue's out. You know, I don't want to sell pages or covers before the book is on the stands, because then, I don't know, it's just nice to have it be part of when the book comes out. So, there's a bug in here. Look out. Okay, I don't need to fiddle this too much, but I just wanted to kind of make that a little clearer. Yeah, man. The only thing I'm not liking, I almost wish I would have used it down there too. Well, that... I'm wondering if I need a background. Nah, I think it's good. I know what we need to do. Thank you, guys. Kevin Nolan, yeah, I love Kevin Nolan. You know, Max, I might keep one cover. I tell you, there's a couple that have special meaning for me, but we'll see. But let me just fix this bottom part. I know what I need to do now. See, we just gotta black these legs out down at the bottom part, and that will give them more space. There we go. See, now he's grounded. Now he's grounded a little bit more. And this is too fiddly right here. Let's unfiddle that and just fiddle this a little bit. There we go. No, just let it go, let it go. All right, let's sign this somewhere. Hey, you know what? I was just like, what am I gonna do over here? I'll put my little signature right over here. There we go. See, this is when I'm like, you gotta stop, gotta step away, Tyrell, gotta step away. All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. This was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it. This guy will probably be up for sale sometime later in the week. But I will hopefully be on next Tuesday as well. I think, I think I will. If I'm not, sorry in advance. A lot of times it depends on kid stuff. So, all right, folks. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for buying the schlub. Thank you for your questions. I had a lot of fun hanging out with you, and I hope to see you all in the future. Like, subscribe, and you know what? Do me one other favor. Go watch another one of my videos after this. Yeah, just go pick one of the old ones. You can see me draw Spider-Man from a couple weeks ago. People really dug that one. Go check it out. It really helps the algorithm. Go check it out or share it with a friend. All right. You guys have a nice night. Good talking to y'all.